Step to the road where light will shine. Waypoints guide through the divine journey of faith with hearts alive. Hope and truth in every line.
Hey, glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. Hope your Monday's off to a great start. I want to share a passage from Hebrews that talks about the early church folks as they were developing this church thing as it started. And in Hebrews 10 and 24, it says, "And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up on meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another." The author of that book is encouraging the early church to keep doing church, to keep meeting, to keep finding ways that we can encourage one another and teach and spur one another along. I think for many of us, we are the direct benefits of what those people started 2,000 years ago. We, which I've been calling the light privilege, those have been around Christian influence all of our lives. We were brought up in the church, and we may not necessarily have this radical then and now kind of experience. This is how I was then. Before Christ, I was very angry and I was immoral, I was hateful, full of crime and drugs. But now since then, I'm more like a soft bunny who plays the harp and draws pictures of trees. That's probably not. More than likely, for us and the communities that many of us have been brought up in, the influences that we have had because of the church and because of our family, our testimony is probably one more that speaks about this ongoing, consistent shaping by the influence of God through His Spirit as He worked that out through the church, the influence of the church through our lives. Many of our journeys, I believe, have been shaped by being part of a church, or at least greatly influenced by the churches around us for many years. So then, for those of us who are light privileged, we have then, because we have this influence of the church, been brought up in biblical teaching. We have had scripture exposed to us, preached to us, and taught to us, and encouraged to stay in scripture. We've been influenced by the community of the church, surrounded by fellow believers who encourage us and strengthen us in our walks. We've been, through the church, exposed to the practices of worship, how it is that we can come together as a group of people to worship Him as one, and also learn how our lives can be an ongoing practice of worship 24/7. We have been exposed to the holy elements of worship, exposed to what it means to be baptized and what that means to be participants in the baptism of others, and sharing in the communion that we do with one another. We've been exposed to the power of prayer and the encouragement to stay living a life of discipleship. That's been part of our journey. It's an ongoing formation. It's no less miraculous than someone's dramatic conversion story. Ours is evidence of God's sustaining power in our life, and what an awesome privilege that is for us. My journey's far from perfect. I'm not implying that at all. I've got a bunch of mistakes along the way, but I also don't want to take for granted how the influence of the church and church people, how that has provided protection from even more destructive behaviors that I could have had along the way. And my guess is you too have had problems along the way, but you have also been guided by those in the church and the truths that the church professes, that you probably have been protected from other kinds of devastating kind of decisions that you could have made. this life of being exposed to his light that the church has provided, it might not be as exciting as those who were hyper rebellious against God. But I've come to find that grace is not just about saving us from complete brokenness, it's also about sustaining us in righteousness. And I think then when that happens, when we become more aware of this mighty power and this protection that we have had all along the way, we find ourselves acting out of appreciation for what he has done and it continues to do, that we find ourselves more fully submitting to him, entrusting all of life to him more fully, and then being more determined in our living to live out life that reflects his awesome goodness. So maybe take some time today to think about how the influence of the church has helped shape you and draw you into a deeper relationship with the one who most loves you. Then offer a prayer of thanks to him. See you next time.